Hello everyone, I'm your teacher, Miss Tanul Lotra. Today I come with another lecture video of Unit 2 of Microeconomics, Consumer Behavior. So in this unit, we will cover 3 chapters. First is the utility approach. Second is the theory of demand. And the last chapter is the elasticity of demand. So in this lecture, I'll explain you about the utility approach. So let's start the lecture. The chapter is Theory of Consumer. First of all, we need to understand the meaning of consumer. A consumer is a person who buys goods and services for the satisfaction of his wants. So if any person consume any goods and services to satisfy his or her want, that person is said to be a consumer. And the main objective of consumer is to get the maximum satisfaction by spending the limited amount of income. Next term is utility. Now what is utility? Utility means want satisfying power of a commodity. If a commodity has a want satisfying power, that means that commodity has utility. For example, if a person wants to go to Chandigarh or Chennai, he boards a train and reaches his destination. So, train service has utility because train service is fulfilling the want of the person. Next is a person wants to save money. A bank accepts his deposit. So, we can say that the bank service also has utility because the bank service is satisfying the want of the person. Here come another example. The boy is Joy. Joy is saying that I am hungry, I want food, and this apple can satisfy my want. So that means apple has the power to satisfy a want. So we can say that apple has utility. The utility analyses are of two types. One is known as the cardinal utility analysis. Another one is the ordinal utility analysis. The cardinal utility analysis is given by Professor Alfred Marshall. And according to Alfred Marshall, the utility can be measured in cardinal numbers. That means we can measure the utility in quantitative terms like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ordinal utility analysis is given by Professor Hicks and Professor Allen. And according to them, we cannot measure the utility. Utility cannot be measured in numbers, but we can give order or ranks to our utility. For example, if I am consuming chocolate, orange and apple, so I can say that I am giving first rank to chocolate because I am getting more utility from chocolate or more satisfaction from the chocolate. I am giving second rank to orange because second most satisfaction I am getting from the orange, and I am giving third rank to apple because the least satisfaction I am getting from the apple. So by this way we can give ranks to our utility, but we cannot measure the utility in terms of number according to Professor Hicks and Professor Allen. The cardinal utility approach, which is given by Alfred Marshall, is known as the Marshallian analysis, and the ordinal utility analysis, which is given by Professor Hicks, is known as the indifference curve analysis. So in this chapter, I'll explain you about the Marshallian analysis or cardinal utility approach. So before understanding this term marginal utility, you need to understand the term total utility. Now what is total utility? Total utility is the sum total of utility which we get by consuming all the units of a commodity. Whatever utility we get by consuming all the units of a commodity, that is known as the total utility. For example, like I'm having 5 apples and I'm consuming those 5 apples. After consuming those 5 apple, whatever the utility I'm getting from each apple, the sum total of that utility is known as the total utility. Now next is the marginal utility. What is the marginal utility? Marginal utility is the addition to the total utility when one more unit of a commodity is consumed. So we can say that marginal utility means the addition or additional utility which we get by consuming the additional unit of a commodity. And the formula of marginal utility is mu is equals to change in total utility divided by change in quantity. So here come the schedule. Units of apple consumed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So first of all, we need to calculate the total utility. So if we are consuming first unit of apple, we are getting 10 utils of satisfaction. If we are consuming second unit of apple, we are getting 18 utils of total utility. And if we are consuming third unit of apple, we are getting 22 utils of satisfaction. And if a person is getting or eating fourth unit of apple, he is getting 22 utils of satisfaction. And when the person is eating the last or fifth unit of apple, he is getting the 20 utils of satisfaction. So what happening here? Earlier the total utility is increasing but at a diminishing rate, but then it on the third and fourth unit it become constant, because till that point the satisfaction level of the person becomes 0. And after the fourth unit, at the fifth unit, the total utility of the consumer starts declining. So what we can measure from this total utility, that by consuming the 1 unit of apple, the additional satisfaction, marginal utility. Additional satisfaction or additional utility means the marginal utility. So by consuming first unit of apple, the marginal utility is 10. And whenever we, as more and more goods we are consuming, the marginal utility keeps on decreasing. This is the law of diminishing marginal utility. That means as more and more goods we consume, with every successive unit, the additional utility which we get starts on decreasing. So that's why the marginal utility is decreasing whenever we are consuming more and more goods, and at fourth unit of apple the marginal utility becomes 0, and at the fifth unit the satisfaction or the utility of person become negative, that is -2. So this is the diagram. So look here, the TU curve, the total utility curve, the red line curve is the total utility curve and the blue line is the marginal utility curve. OX axis representing the units and OY axis representing the utility. So here I am explaining you that whenever we consume the goods, at starting the total utility keeps on increasing but at a diminishing rate, that at some point or after a particular consumption the TU become maximum or constant, and after that TU starts declining. And if somebody will ask us what is the relationship between the marginal utility and total utility, we can say that whenever the marginal utility is decreasing but it's positive, when the marginal utility is positive, at that time the TU increases at diminishing rate. When the marginal utility, the additional utility becomes 0, at that point, that where the marginal utility is 0, that point is known as a point of saturation. At that point the TU is constant or maximum, and when mu becomes 0, the TU starts on, or when mu become negative, the TU starts on decreasing. This is the relationship between TU and MU. So what is the relationship between TU and MU? When total utility increases at diminishing rate, the marginal utility diminishes. Okay, that at that time marginal utility falls, and when total utility is maximum, the marginal utility becomes zero, and when total utility decreases, the marginal utility become negative that time. So this is the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. Next is law of diminishing marginal utility. So this law is given by Professor H. Gaussens, and it is also known as the Gaussens' first law of consumption. What this law states? This law says that other thing remains the same as more and more units of a commodity we consume, the utility derived from each additional unit, or the utility derived from each successive units, goes on decreasing. That means our marginal utility keeps on falling with the additional consumption. So this is a law of diminishing marginal utility. Next, there are some assumptions of these laws. First, the consumer should be rational. That means consumer is intelligent. He knows how to get maximum satisfaction by spending the limited income. Second is, all the units of the commodity consumed are of same quality. That means the units should be homogeneous. The goods should be homogeneous. All the units are consumed without any time gap. That means there should be a continuous consumption. It is possible to measure utility in terms of number, and the taste and preferences of consumer do not change. That means there is a constant, or the taste and preferences remain constant. The commodity must be consumed in sizable quantity. What is the meaning of sizable quantity here? Like, if we are talking about the law of diminishing marginality, it applied only where we consume a sizable quantity. That means a glass of water, a cup of tea, not a spoon of tea or spoon of water. Understand? The glass of water, cup of tea, a packet of kurkure, this is the sizable quantity. So these are some assumptions of law of diminishing marginal utility, which is also known as law of DMU. So this is the diagram and schedule of law of diminishing marginal utility. What they are saying here, first of all, they give the units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the units of apple, or you can say units of orange. And total utility is 10, 18, 24, 28, 30, 30 and 28. So as I told you, total utility first increases with diminishing rate, then it becomes constant, and after that it starts declining. And then our marginal utility is 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, minus 2. So marginal utility first decreases but remain positive, then it becomes 0, and the point at which the marginal utility is 0, that is known as the point of saturation, and after that point the marginal utility become negative. So this is a graph. OX is representing the units of orange and OY is representing the marginal utility, and this is the MU curve is here. So what they are saying that MU curve is downward sloping. Why MU curve is downward sloping? Because the fact that consumption of successive units gives less satisfaction. As more and more units we consume, the satisfaction level or additional satisfaction keeps on falling. That's why MU is always downward sloping. Is that clear? Next is, there are some limitation and some exceptions of this law of DMU. Exceptions mean where these laws are not applicable. Okay. So first is case of intoxicants. That means if a person is addicted to liquor or some other thing, so that person, as more and more that person consumes the liquor, that person feels happy, or that person gets more satisfaction with more consumption. So in case of intoxicants, this law of DMU is not applicable. Next is rare collection. That means if a person has a habit to collect different things like diamonds, and you can say that coin collection, stamp collection. So as more and more that person is getting, he will get the more satisfaction also. So in this rare collection case also, law of DMU will not applicable. Next is application to money. Application to money, that it is very true, if a person is a miser, so his greed to get additional money will not fall. If he is getting more money, he is receiving the more and more satisfaction. That means this law of DMU is not applicable to money also. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. The rest part we will do tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe the Pratap World School channel on YouTube. Have a nice day.